I was lying on my bed one afternoon, just browsing my Facebook newsfeed, tagging my friends in a status about the football game, when my mom interrupts me. Hey, Darcy, how would you like to write a book about leadership? Let me think. Boring. When I think of leadership, I think of business suits and board meetings and ties. Adult stuff. Sure, I can take charge and be bossy when I have to, but write a whole book about that? Yeesh. So I said, well, a book sounds great, Mom, but how are we going to write about leadership exactly? We'll phone interview corporate executives and politicians. Uh-oh, this still isn't sounding so hot. I didn't want to write a book about leadership like that, so it didn't take long for me to transform the whole book idea into something completely different. I'm pretty frank with my mom, and I think what we came up with was a lot better. We weren't going to write a book about a few phone interviews. We were going to travel the world and find women leaders everywhere, from fashion runways and red carpets to the battlefield, and create a template for what we thought the best leader could look like. Now, this may come as a surprise, but I have a lot of stereotypes about leadership. When I think leader, this image pops into my head of Lucy bossing around Charlie Brown. So whenever I get put in charge of a group in school, I start shouting really, really loudly and pointing my finger, because I see Lucy doing that to Charlie Brown. But that's what I thought all the women leaders would do too. I was completely wrong. We found our first woman leader at a special summer camp called Seas of Peace that facilitates conflict resolution between teenagers in the Middle East. We interviewed the director of the camp, Leslie Lewin, but we didn't just ask her questions about her leadership style. We lived it with her. The first night, she invited us to hop on her golf cart for the regular rounds around campus. We made a stop over here to deliver some sleeping bags, a stop over there to radio in the repair request for a broken screen door, pause for staffers and campers with questions for Leslie. Wait a minute, where's the pointing, the shouting? Where did Lucy go? Leslie doesn't even look like the camp director any more than any other staffer. Yet all the campers are just as careful and conscientious of each other as Leslie. So what is she doing? And why is it working? It wasn't just all the little things that Leslie does around the camp. Leslie is such an effective leader because she teaches with her actions, not her words. She takes the extra time at the end of each day to circle the grounds and do the things that a dozen other counselors could easily do. And she does it with a love and affection for the camp that's contagious. She exudes the attitude that she wants the other staffers and campers to share. A leader doesn't even have to speak to set standards for her followers. A leader doesn't have to be loud to be heard. Sorry, Lucy. Now my preconceived notions about who these women should be are fading, and I can start to see them for who they truly are. They lead in every way, shape, and form. Leslie leads by example. Sharon Allen, chairman of the board at this huge multinational company called Deloitte, took a more traditional corporate path, while Eileen Fisher, a fashion designing CEO, is a visionary who leads by nurturing the people in her company. Each interview became the celebration of a woman. Her obstacles, her fears, her visions, her joys, her whole personality, good, bad, everything. I found just as many leadership styles as the number of women we interviewed, each one elegant, sacred, beautiful, and full of lessons to be learned. How much each personality shone through, how much each woman was both a leader while being exactly herself, shocked me. Each leader, all of her core qualities of who she was, whether empowering, well-organized, or courageous, makes them great leaders. I was seeing more clearly now, more than ever before, how each woman was changing her community and the world through her leadership. It's incredible. But I still didn't ever see myself becoming like them. I don't want to become the first woman president of a country like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in Liberia, or a world-renowned orchestra conductor like Marin Alsop. My dream is to become an expert in the field of linguistic anthropology. Yeah, I know, guys. Linguistic anthropology? What is that? Most people will probably go their whole lives without ever knowing, right? It's the study of the relationship between languages and culture. because I want to explore, travel, see the world like a multilingual Tomb Raider. But here I am doing these interviews wondering, how am I ever going to make a living doing what I love? Never mind become a leader. Then, when I least expect it, the answer comes in the middle of an interview. One question we ask almost all the women is, what do you think the leader of the future will look like? Former Secretary of State, Dr. Condoleezza Rice, told us that it's possible to travel among leaders of almost every nation around the world and communicate only in English. But now, because countries are becoming so interdependent, it is crucial more than ever before for leaders to understand foreign languages and cultures. So according to Dr. Condoleezza Rice, the leader of the future looks exactly like who I want to be. Finally, I got it. A leader doesn't have to be like Lucy. A leader doesn't even have to be like Dr. Condoleezza Rice. A leader could be like me, just plain old me, or like you. A leader doesn't have to be like all of those images that we put on them. A leader can be just like us.